Hi everyone, it's Mama here. Don't mind me, I have a little bit sore throat. I think it's viral. I don't know where did I catch it. So it's not even cold or fever, or I haven't checked if it's COVID, but I just have this throat hurt. Start from some itchiness in the throat, and the next day I lost my voice. And tomorrow I'm going to teach the kids in singing and reading books. I don't know if I could hold up. So, okay, hi everyone, this Momo here. So this will be the first video of this new channel that I just started as this first video. So, and because today I got my OCI card of India, it's overseas citizen of India. So today I'm officially sort of citizen of India, some sort of citizen of India. So, American, a green card also is like a permanent residence, but it's in the wording. There's nothing. It's written as citizen. So this is the first time outside of China I get from a democratic country that claiming me as their citizen. Any sort of citizen works. So I'm just thinking if I get persecuted by Chinese government, I would say, hey, I'm citizen of India, so you better watch your behavior. Otherwise my government is going to help me. So anyways, I got my OCI card, and that's why I'm going to update in this video. First, I want to talk about why I opened this new channel. So basically, it's just within my same email account, and I can open I don't know how many different channels. And originally, my channel that's called my name Momo Sing. It's recently it turned into this Chinese information platform. I basically because the A4 revolution, right, on 27th of November, that people, young children, like young kids in China, they went to the street to protest against Xi Jinping's ruthless rule on 3 years of zero COVID policy, lock people up, and took away that means that the direct consequences is that a lot of people's livelihood being taken away, and then people starved in their room, in their house, in their apartment, and then they lost jobs, lost business, and then people really on the brink of breaking down. So at the end of the end of November, the end of this 3-year period of time, people, especially the young children, the young kids, they finally cannot take it anymore, and then they went to the street to protest against this. So that was China's A4 revolution, and I'm still shaken at this point. This is like 1.5 months, because just yesterday we're still seeing this video that was released by this young girl, 26 years old. She graduated from the top university in China 1.5 years ago, master's degree in history, and she is working for one of the biggest publishing house in China, and she's one of the editors to publish the Global History. This is one famous historical book about history, a global history that written in English. And then she's one of the editor who helped translate this book and then published this book in China. And she just, out of sympathy for the people, the victims who died in Urumqi fire. Urumqi is the capital of Xinjiang province. Xinjiang province is like colonized land of Uyghur people, and they are already really discriminated this concentration camp of Uyghur people just because they are different from Han people. and this is colonized world, and this is colonized land. So they already treated very unfairly, and then really Chinese people, Han people, understand or seen any news about it. There are million people, more than million people. Nobody knows how many people they're right now locked up in concentration camps just because they are Uyghur people. And this fire, there was a fire in the apartment lot that happened in November 26th or 24th. That so many 10 normal Uyghur people, women and children, died in the fire. They're Uyghur people, they are minorities, and they died in the fire. And then Chinese youth, they cannot take it anymore, so they went to the street to mourn the death of these victims, fire victims. Oh, also what the reason they died, because all this ruthless quarantines, it has already happened. That quarantine in that capital, in that region, already happened for 3 months. The people couldn't get out of their apartment. The kids was malnourished because they didn't get food to eat properly. 3 months locked up in this small apartment house, like cages, you know. And there were so many barricades outside the building, so the fire trucks arrived maybe within 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Fire trucks arrived, but then the pressured water cannot reach the apartment building because there's so many barricades, and then people's cars parked there for 2-3 months because they were locked up somewhere, or they were sent in, you know, these quarantine wards. So that is why the fire lasted for 3 hours, and that's why it burned down from 17th floor to I think 21st or 22nd floor, like 4-5 floors being burned down in 3 hours time. So that's why it ended up being 3, not officially 3, nobody knows if it's true, 3 people died, Uyghur people. So that is why the Chinese youth went to the street to protest against this 3 year of lockdown. And also it got escalated, and Chinese children started to shout, "Down with Xi Jinping, down with CCP," because they're ruthless regime, right? And then because they are taking the whole Chinese economic growth into opposite direction, because one man's will, just one man's belief. So this is a full revolution, and I don't know why I'm talking so much about it. I think I'm just very excited about this whole issue. Because this happened, and I didn't get much time to think. I just right away started to post a lot of things about this event, because children in China, they went to the street. And students abroad also went to the street, like within 24 hours or so. We were so inspired because we waited for so many years. We were coerced to be keeping silent, to keep silent, you know, because we were scared. Because every one of us have some relatives or friends that lived inside China, and then we're thinking that they are in the hand of the cross of CCP, so we were never brave enough to speak up. Like if I look back of me 5 years ago, I was not having the courage to speak this much either in Chinese language or English language. So I was like on the edge of, you know, saying something, you know, on the side. I don't know how to say in properly English terms, but it's like implying something with some different words, and not using the direct terms of Xi Jinping or the president or China. You know, even China, these 2 words is forbidden, it's sensitive to speak about, or the party, you know. So we're just implying something, making a joke, metaphor. So we were all just scared, like my point is all the students, foreign students. But when we saw the video of the Shanghainese children, 20 years old, 22, 25 years old, they went to the street and they started chanting, "Down with Xi Jinping, down with CCP." And we were so moved. We were like, those children in China, they didn't wear masks. they were just barefaced, and that means they were not scared. And plus, I guess it's not useful because there's so many civilians cameras tracking your phones, all the apps that they install. All the Chinese apps you install in the phone have some backgate that, that allows certain codes that to scrape data from your phone. So the government tracks, plus government tracks wherever you are, whatever that activities in your phone. Plus, during the COVID 3 years time, the government implemented this health code thing that anyone who have a smartphone should have it, only with this health code being green. So basically you need to go get COVID test every 24 hours or 72 hours to get this green health code. So with this health code only, you can take metro, you can go to supermarket, you can go to enter any building, or I don't know, enter your apartment blocks gate, So this is like a chain on your neck. It's like a chain. We call it totalitarian, digital totalitarianism. So plus, like all those children in China, when they were on protesting, they knew that even wearing masks, it's not going to help because they have a phone and then it's being tracked. So they would not even wear masks, and then obviously they were tracked, and then they were tracked with their behavior, with their like tracks, wherever they go, and then how long they stay there, whoever they were with. So they were not afraid. They were not even bothered. They were not even bothered to wear any masks. So when we students of people when we were abroad, and when we saw that the videos, those children in China, they were not afraid. They were not wearing masks. They chanted "Down with Xi Jinping, down with CCP." We were so encouraged, and then a lot of people went to the street too to protest. I right away went to San Francisco embassy, Chinese embassy, and then I was like sharing. I was wearing masks that day, but I was not afraid. I was just showing my face in front of camera of the Chinese embassy. And then we were chanting all these slogans. We were chanting "Down with Xi Jinping, down with Xi Jinping, down with CCP," and we spent a lot of time in front of it. I took videos, and I also went to UC Berkeley to join the protest. So many people in UC Berkeley. We set up these flowers and candles as video, and I didn't wear masks. I brought my children. I brought my son. I took photos of him. I posted, and then from that time, I didn't have so much time to think how I'm going to do with my YouTube account. I just started posting all these videos, anything about A4 Revolution that I think is worthwhile to share, and also inside China or outside China, if I think any information is worthwhile to share, I share it. Also, I use my community space to share information that I think is helpful to, spread the message, to help waking up more people, or one of the main thing for me is to be there, to show that I'm not afraid. I have a real name. I was publicly persecuted. There were news about me, about where I'm from, who are my parents, what I'm doing, where they live, my home. I don't know if my home address is out there, whatever. So I have my real identity, real ID in public space. And then if I'm not afraid, I dare to share all this information that most people were so scared to read about it. Like 2 years ago, I was scared to read about Uyghur people, about their persecution, about their concentration camps. I was even scared of reading about it. Just, it's like a black hole. I don't want to be sucked in because that is something really serious. And also about Hong Kong. I know about Hong Kong, and I wept for months about it. I felt sad about it. But I was scared to publicly express my anger or dissidence or disagreement on this issue. And and after A4 Revolution, I was not afraid anymore. And plus, for me personally, I went through this persecution, so it was a really good mental exercise for me. So at first I was shit scared, right? I was like, my family members, they were shit scared because, you know, it's persecution. Everyone is shit scared in China. And but, you know, I think for the past 10 years in China, when I was in Chinese social media, I didn't really cross the line too much. And I'm like, I'm a housewife, okay? I don't have a real profession, and I'm a teacher now, and I teach children songs. So professionally, I'm not really engaged in something really too dangerous that government deemed to be dangerous, threatening to them. So I'm just a housewife, a woman. And so I think they didn't gather enough to persecute my family. So we went through that, and it was a very big wave. Whatever they get in their hands, it was a huge wave. So I don't think it could be even bigger than that, you know, whatever the persecution. Okay, I don't think that my value is bigger than that how much they can use. So, because my role was being a housewife of an Indian person, and the government's role was to use me to defame India and defame women and defame people who are living abroad, right? Give a bad name to others. So my specific role of being a housewife married to an Indian, and the Indian domestically violating me, and then all these fake things, it's big enough. It's basically the thing that they want to use. And beyond that, I don't think they could use any more material about me to make sensational news to brainwash people. So I think they are not going to do much to me anymore. I mean, you can't even share any of the news that I like. You can't say the things I say and to give me a bad name. You know what I'm saying? Because right now I'm saying down with Xi Jinping, down with CCP. You cannot use these things to give me a bad name in China, and that is why I'm not afraid anymore. And that realization is after all this exercise. You know, I started first. So after the persecution, I was shit scared, and then I finally, you know, after a few months, I finally found myself, took a breath, and then I realized that I cannot stop posting. So I didn't have this urge to connect. So I still need to use the social media to express my, you know, feelings about anything. So I started using English. And then after I using English, and I started to criticize the government with English. And little by little, whenever I do it, I will wait for some time to see if this what is this word that I forgot the word. It means the wave if the wave will go to China, if it will cause a wave in China. And I waited and I tested out, and I see, oh, there's nothing, like nobody is picking this up. Because before, when they didn't persecute me, I post something in Facebook, and the police department in my town will receive a phone call from, I don't know where, like the State Department or something, about this post, and then ask the local police department to ask my family to ask me to take this post down. So I'm testing out whatever I'm writing first in English. You know, I wrote a little bit, and then I wrote a little bit more. I wait for some time to see if there's waves coming out, and eventually I started writing in Chinese also, a few words, you know, implying something, metaphors, and then more and more I realized they don't really catch this anymore. And plus, after A4 revolution, there were so many people that suddenly rose up to, rose up to stand up against this regime. So amidst of all these people, among all these people, I don't think they have the energy to deal with people abroad now. And among all the social unrest, and plus, because the economy is going bad, no, I need to pick up my daughter, because the economy is so bad nowadays, I don't think they have enough government funding to do this shit anymore, to track somebody online and then persecute them. Oh shit, I need to pick up my daughter. Okay, I'll continue my talk. So I was trying to talk about why I'm opening this new channel. It just went from everywhere to everywhere. So anyway, so after A4 revolution, I started posting all this information, and then and also I got a lot of new subscribers that they're from China, and I feel like there's a need for me to collect such information to share among them. And they also gave me feedback saying, you know, this simple things that you shared, because I collect information. I've been doing this for years because I just love it. I just see things online, and then, you know, if it's critical information, I will check it. You know, I will cross fact checked, right? And so I just finally start using my experience to post things, and then I think it's useful. And also being there using with my own identity, that saying the things I dare to say now, I think it's something, you know, it's something among all these people to encourage them. So that is why my personal account now, it's becoming this mainly of like Chinese people staying there. So that is what I want to explain. That is why I want to open this new channel that I will use. And this channel I already opened a new channel that is I'm speaking Chinese, and that will be only Chinese language, and that is called Momo in China, Momo in India. And I will use that channel to exclusively talk about India related issues, and India travel, and in India anything, India life experience. And this new channel in English will be the same. I will use this channel only exclusively speaking English, and I'll talk about India, because besides these Chinese issues, right, A4 revolution, you know, COVID, and all this information sharing things, I think one chunk of things that I still want to do is about India. So after all these years, right, I finally realized that, yeah, this it's the things I want to continue sharing, you know, traveling India, knowing about, try to explore India, and try to understand India, try to know more about India, and through real life, through experience. So that is what this channel is about. I'm going to use English and post anything which is India related. And you know, if it's India related, a lot of things comes with my family, you know, our travels and all. So now my channel is like very clear about, you know, my old account will be a lot about Chinese things. The old, like the things I post before, the histories, I will just leave it be. I'm not going to do much about it, you know, because that is who I am. So I leave it there. So whoever is interested about me, you know, if you criticize, you know, if you are doubting my credibility or my personality, go check my old videos and see what did I say about anything, you know. I'm just blank paper for you to investigate. You can just check. So, and I think that is very important for the later on more Chinese content to come. And now I have this Chinese a Chinese language new channel for Indian related content, and then I have an English speaking channel for Indian related content. So these 3 channels will be my future main channels that I'm going to post. And then there's another thing. So because I started posting all these videos I collected online for Chinese April Revolution, and then YouTube canceled out my partnership to advertise. So before I had around 1 year or so, more than a year of privilege to post advertisement in YouTube, and I made like $300-400, and it's a very small amount. I don't think I make a career out of it. So, but I had my try, so I know what it is now. And now they were like, your content is not original anymore, so they canceled it out. Also, I think they don't want too much of this political stuff. Oh, that's not the reason. I think it's just original. Because it's not original. It's because you just directly grab from on internet, right? So, but that is how I want to share it. I do not want to add more of my comments on those videos. So anyway, so they canceled that. I think it's no big deal. So, and I don't think making money in YouTube it's ever my goal or something, and it will be in the future too. I don't think viewership or money or anything will matter. So it just, for me to be there, for me to have this platform to keep sharing my journey with all of you. And then for the English channel, it will be Indian related, right? India related. So that is why, okay, finally I'm getting to my point. This is the first video, and this should be India related. It's like I'm explaining why I'm opening the channel, but also I got my OCI card, and which is overseas Indian citizenship. I just got it today. So this is after 7 years, 8 years of wait after we first applied. So basically my husband is Indian passport owner, a passport holder. So once you marry for 2 years, you can apply for Indian overseas citizenship. My both children, I applied right away because the children can apply right away. So I applied for the OCI card right away, after they were born, and I got American passport for them, and I got OCI card for them. OCI card is for whole life. It's like a passport. You can go to India anytime you want. There's no visa required. Just one passport and one OCI card together. You can go to India. You can stay there. You can live there for long term. You can earn salary, and you can purchase lands, and you can make your own business. All the stuff except voting rights. I think I already talked about this before. So my children have it, and I started applying 7 years ago, and then I applied 2 times, and this is my second try. And then 3 years ago, I submitted the application. Finally, after 3 years, they approved it. And then they went to my father-in-law's house to do this background check. And I always thought they were just, lost in the red tape. But okay, 3 years. After 3 years, finally, they gave me this card. It was issued 26th of December 2022. And then it was shipped into the consulate of India in San Francisco, and then they sent to this third party, visa application center. And but when I applied, this was 3 years ago. It was a different application center. So this application center has no information of me, although I have information about applying for entry visa, but they don't connect these 2 things. So they do not get my reference. They don't get my profile for my reference number of OCI application. So they sent back my OCI to the consulate of India. So that is when the consulate of India woman, the madam, she called me, asked me to send a prepaid envelope so she can ship me back the OCI card. And that happened last week, and then we didn't see any news. And my husband got really stressed. He really wanted this card in their hand. So I was like, chill, dude. You do not. First of all, he wants to go already to San Francisco to pick up. I was like, no, I just send the envelope. They're going to ship back. And then he was convinced by me, and he was like so angry with me not going to San Francisco with him last week. And finally today there was new news because the tracking not showing that they shipped out my envelope. So he got so stressed out. We have to drive to San Francisco to this Council of India and ask about it. So we went this morning and then we asked about it, and then they were like, no, we don't deliver OCIs. You should go to the third party visa center to get your OCI card. So we went there, we called them beforehand also. And then we went there, and everyone was really nice though. We went there, they were nice to help us, and then eventually after 20 minutes, the person, after he called the Council of, India, and then he was like, okay, I know what's the problem. So because your application was 3 years ago, it was not even us, so we couldn't find your contact information, so we shipped back your OCI card to the Council of India. And that is why the madam in the Council of India called me to ask me to send a prepaid envelope so she can ship the card in the envelope to me. And so we're like, okay, we got it. At least we know where it is. So he will keep an eye on that. He will remind the madam in the Council of India, and blah blah blah. And then when we're almost driving back home, the Consulate of India called me also, telling me that, oh, we actually found your OCI card. It's with us. The lady who was dealing with it, she's on holiday. That explained why she haven't shipped out my envelope yet, right? So I was like, Raj, we could just wait for 2 more days and then you will get a closure. But Raj is like, no, I need closure right now. That is why we drove to San Francisco this morning, and then we got a car. And I was actually very excited because I think this is first sort of citizenship from a democratic country. And that means, like, if I'm facing any trouble abroad outside of India, I can go to the Consulate of India in any country, and I'm the citizen of them, some kind of citizen of you. So you better give me shelter, protection. That is something, that is so important for a person, because for my own country, I don't think I would trust them, right? They persecute me, so I'm like a homeless, always rootless, right? So I never will dream for protection or from the government. Just don't persecute me, please. Don't persecute my family, please. So now I have this democratic country. India is chaotic. It's red tapes, and then it's in grassroots corruption, and it's extreme poverty and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still elected government. It's a legit election, and it's a democracy. It has freedom of journalism and press and internet freedom. So it's way much better than a dictatorship, than an authoritarian regime. So I take it, at this point of time, I take anything, This is after 15 years of coming out from China. I take it happily. I didn't take the path of eat the orange. I didn't take that shortcut of those marrying an American passport holder, fake marriage to get green card in 2 years, and all that stuff. I never took that. I never thought about that. I would never do that, because in some form it's lying. So and then I would never use this chance of finding a partnership or finding a love to how to say, to trade off for something else, right? So that is why it took me 15 years to get a democratic country's protection. But I got green card too, right? So anyway, so it's something to celebrate. So this is just, you know, something I want to share because this is my life path. And this is as a normal Chinese person who realized that how dangerous to have your own country's citizenship and then you escape of the cross of dictatorship, authoritarian region, and now dictatorship, and then find a better life outside. I mean, all of us going through this trouble, all of us. And I mean, a lot of immigrants, they go through a lot of troubles, and then the Chinese nowadays still, I mean, I don't think it ever stopped. Like during June 4th, all these people exiled and then ran to everywhere in the world. And then before that was Cultural Revolution. I don't think everyone even ran out. And Big Famine was the people who ran to Hong Kong. Like my friend that I just got to know now, Randy, and his great grandparents was business owners, like the farmers, like landowners in China in the 50s. And then at that time, Chinese government killed, murdered 260,000 farmers, landowners. And his great grandparents were hotel owners in China at the time, and then in some kind of township. And then because they knew someone in the CCP, so the person came in the night telling you have to go right this hour, run to Hong Kong, because his family is from Canton. So they got this insider news. So within 1-2 hours, they packed their whole life, grab everyone, 15 people in the whole family. They started walking. They walked it for 15 days. So I don't know how many days. I forgot the number. So they walked for 15 days or so. Let's say that. From Canton to Hong Kong. Crossed the border. And then found refugee in Hong Kong. So that was the only place that Chinese could run out during Big Famine. The Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution. I think people ran to Hong Kong. People ran in the ocean. Maybe, I don't know. I doubt that anyone ran out to the ocean. Also, I met this Tibetan guy. He ran out 2004. I forgot the year. 2004, 14 or 2004. When he was 14. I wrote somewhere, but I forgot the dates. So he also ran out. He walked. I don't know how. I forgot the day. How many days he walked? That with Tibetan monks across the mountains to Nepal and India, and then finally settled. So that is the fate of Chinese people. We're doing all this just to find a better life somewhere else, somewhere democratic. And India, as this neighbor country, it really contributed a lot to host refugees of China. Like Hong Kong, before Hong Kong, people ran to Hong Kong, and a lot of people ran to India. I heard a lot of people ran to Mongolia first, and to Mongolia, and then to South Korea, and from South Korea to different other democratic countries, So, and then during my time, we were lucky because we can study, and then we go abroad to study if you're rich, if your family are rich. So, because that takes a lot of money. So a lot of students took this path because we were lucky. We born in a time that China was open, the door was open. We get to study, and we get to in a proper channel to see the world. We didn't suffer much. So now the door is closing again, little by little. So I just find myself finally getting some citizenship. That's why I'm really excited today. And eventually I'm getting my American citizenship. That is a passport change. I don't know if I could get passport in India because I don't live there, but I live in America. So one day I'm getting my American passport, and that is it. And then I think that's the best protection that I could ever ask for. So since I will be an American citizen, so it will be really free from a lot of potential persecution. So that is basically my escape route of coming out from China, and then escape authoritarianism, escape this brutality. So basically, this is what I want to share with you. see this is a video that I share about India OCI, and then share about my journey, and then why I opened this new channel. So overall, it's a good video. Anyways, this is the first video, and I will keep updating you guys. I will just use this form of like random chat, really casual chat, because this is the only form of, like, not only, but then the form of video making that I find the most less time consuming, because I really don't have so much time. And also I get to talk. I'm very comfortable of talking casually now, like this. And then so I'll just keep it up, and then whenever there's something happening, I'll just share with all of you guys. So I'll talk to you next time then. Bye everyone.